Welcome to Flash CS6 Tutorial 30, Depth Perception. I'm going to show you a little technique that you might be able to play around with and get some use out of. You have to be able to know how to use the drawing tools, like the rectangle tool, the oval tool, the pencil tool, the colors. You must be able to use those to some degree, or you're going to get lost in the because I'm not going to go through them in great depth, the drawings that is. I'm going to start by opening a new FLA, keeping action script 3, 550 for my width of my stage, 400 for my height, keeping the white background. OK. Going to start by calling this lawn, L-A-W-N, as I'm calling this layer. Make my scene about 50%. Come over here, click on the corner, pick up that rectangle tool. I want black for my stroke, and I want a bluish color, like sky bluish. And I'm going to go with one of these two here. I'm going to click on that one. Then I'm going to open it up here, go to this wheel here, and pick a lighter color of that. So I'll slide that up. And there's the color I'm going to use. OK. And I have my rectangle tool. I'm going to make a rectangle. I'm going to click on this selection tool, highlight it, go up here, modify, convert it to a symbol. Make sure movie clip is selected, and make sure the center here is selected, and call it lawn, L-A-W-N _MC. Copy that. Close this off, open the properties panel, and up here it's lawn movie clip. Paste this in for an instance name. Now it's highlighted, open the properties panel, and make sure this is unlocked. And I want to make this the width 550. That's the size of the width of my stage. And we may as well make it the height of the stage 400, so it's exact same size as my stage. And you can see it's hanging over. So now we want to open this alignment panel. If you don't have it docked here, go to Window and click Alignment, and it'll open up. Make sure there's a check mark, Align to Stage. This one here will horizontally align it, and this one here will vertically align it. And now my stage is completely covered. If I double click on it and look up here, now we're inside this movie clip. Call this layer Sky, S-K-Y. Lock it. Insert a layer. Call it Lawn, L-A-W-N. And lawns are usually green, so let's pick up the rectangle tool again. Come down here and pick up a greenish color. I'm going with this green here for my lawn. And make a rectangle right in about here. You decide whether you want it high in the air or low, and we can get that right on there, and there's my lawn. Now this is where I'm going to be bringing in drawings that are already made, and what I'm suggesting to you is that you just make something very rough to follow through the tutorial, or if you want to take the time to draw it and stop the video, that's up to you. But now I'm going to have all my layers locked. Select the lawn layer, insert a layer, call it House, H-O-U-S-E, and I'm going to draw a house here. And basically for a house I would use, just for this is my rectangle tool. I would make a rectangle, and you could leave like that. You could put one like this, one like this, and one like this, and pick up a color down here and pick up your fill bucket and fill it in. That's what I would do for this tutorial, and then draw your good house after. I'm going to delete all that, and there's the house that I ended up drawing. So I'm just going to highlight it a little bit. While it's highlighted, I'm going to open up, click on here to modify. I'm going to convert to a symbol, and I'm going to call it house underscore MC. And make sure movie clip is selected, and make sure the center square is selected. It's going to be called house MC. Shift underscore MC. Copy that. Click OK. Open the properties panel and paste it in here for an instance name. So now you have your house drawn, and it has an instance name. Okay, lock that layer. I'm now going to do the same thing for a fence. So I'm going to insert a layer and call it fence. And in my fence layer, I drew this fence. Again, I suggest you just take a long rectangle. And I want the fence to be behind the house. So I'm just going to click on the house layer down here and push it up. So now the fence is behind the house. Also, what I did was I highlighted the fence. I went modified, converted it to a symbol. So if I check it over here, I can see it has an instance name called fence. So you want to do that. Lock all my layers. I'm going to make another layer, and I'm going to call it trees, and I want it to be in front of the house. So I'm going to select the host layer, make a new layer, and on that layer I have a tree. It's in front of the house, and again I highlighted it, modified it, converted it to a symbol, gave it an instance name called tree underscore MC, and if I look in the properties panel, there I have trees, actually with an S, trees underscore MC. I call this one trees with an S, because originally I had 2 trees, but I dropped it to 1. And I want one more thing in this, on this little scene, so it's going to be in between the house and the trees. So I'm going to insert layer between the house and the trees, and it's called ball rid. And if I hide, I'm going to click here, it hides all the layers, and if I click here, you'll see there's a little red ball right there. And another way of seeing that is I can click this thing, and there's that little ball behind the tree. This one right here, see that? It just gives me the image outside, and that's the little ball behind that tree. Now we got to make sure that we give that ball an instance name. We know it's here somewhere. I might be able to select if I do this. I'm just checking. I'm just highlighting there. And it did. And make sure you give it, convert it up here, modify, convert it to a symbol, call it ball rid underscore MC, just as you've done the other things. Copy that name and paste it in here in the properties panel. So now, there's everything drawn. All we have to do now is write some code. Make sure all the layers are locked. Select the top layer. Insert a layer, call it action script AS. Now what I'm going to do is write all the code and then give you an explanation of how it works. So select that first frame of the actions layer, open the actions panel. I open mine from here. If it's not here, go to window and you'll find actions, and there's your action panel. And we're going to do a whole lot of typing, and then I'll explain it to you after. We're going to start off with a couple variables. VAR, write, capital RIGHT, colon, number, NUMBER, capital N, equals 0, semicolon. If you can hear that fire engine, there's one in the background here going, we just can't see it. Copy this line of code, paste it in, change the word from right to left, put a couple enters, paste it in again, get rid of the left and write house RL with a capital H, colon, number equals, change the 0 to a 0.8. Now copy this, paste it in again, change house left right to fence left right with a capital F, and make it 0.5. Paste it in again, change it to tree, capital T, REES, don't forget that S, left right, that's going to be 0.9, and paste it in again, ball red, left right, colon, that's all the same, 0.85. Now, ball red, is that what I called it? Ball red. I'm going to go back here for a second, make sure. But ball red, it says ball red. I think I said red ball. I just want to open the properties panel for a minute. Ball red. It might have said red ball. Capital B, capital R. Ball red. All right, back to the action code. We have our variables written. Now we need an event listener. Calling it stage, S-T-A-G-E, small s turns blue, period. Add event listener. Small a, capital E, capital L, open bracket. Keyboard event, capital K, capital E. That will turn blue if spelled right, period. Key underscore down, all uppercase, all capital letters. Shift, hold your shift down while you're doing this. Comma, and I'm calling this keys down, K-E-Y-S, D-O-W-N, capital K, capital D. That's what I'm calling it. You can call anything you want as long as it doesn't change colors. Close bracket, semicolon. Now we're going to call that function up. F-U-N-C-T-I-O-N turns purple. Copy keys down, paste it in. Open bracket, event, E-V-E-N-T, small e turns blue, colon. Copy keyboard event, paste it in, close bracket. And here's the open curly bracket for this function. And way down here is a closed curly bracket for this function. And this one usually comes in once you start typing something in here. If IF turns purple, open bracket, event, E-V-E-N-T, small e, period. Key code, small k, capital C, that all is blue. Equals 39, close bracket. I'm going to tell you what all this is after. There's an open curly bracket for this if, and as you start writing this closed curly bracket should come in. So open curly bracket, right, R-I-G-H-T, capital R, equals 1, semicolon, close curly bracket. Copy that, paste it in. Change the 39 here to a 37, and change the word right to left, capital L. And I should have an open curly bracket here and a closed curly bracket here. Open, closed, open, closed. All right? Now, you can copy this line if you want and come down here, paste it in. And I believe the only change that's going to be is going to be keys down. Instead of keys down, right here, it's going to be keys up, capital K, capital U. And this word here is going to be up instead of down. Likewise, I believe you can copy this line of code and paste it in here and make sure that this word becomes keys up instead of keys down. All right? I believe now we can copy this code, all this. I'm doing this in steps, and paste it in. And this stays the same. The only thing here now is right equals a 0 instead of a 1. And this one here, left equals a 0 instead of a 1. All right. Got one more section here to do. Let me explain that section first. This 39, number 39, is the right arrow key. 37 is the left arrow key. If I pressed either the left arrow key or the right arrow key, so what this is saying, I will make this variable either called right or left equal to a 1. So let's say I press the right arrow key. When I do, there's a variable called right that'll become a 1. It'll become 1. Down here, it's when I leave all my keys go, no keys, then right is a 0 and left is a 0. So when I press a key, I make a 1. When I leave the key go, I make a 0. And down here, we're going to write the code that says, must be a fire in back of this little house or something going on in the background. So this right being a 1 or this left being a 1 tells me to do something to my house, my fence, and my trees, and my red ball. So whichever one is pressed, that's the one I'm going to be doing something with. That was a quick explanation. So now we're at here. This stage event listener, stage period add event listener, that's the same as above if you wanted to copy it. Here's where it changes. Open bracket, event, capital E, period, enter underscore frame, all uppercase, all capitals. All that is blue except for the open bracket here. Comma, I'm calling this again, A-G-A-I-N, capital A, close bracket, semicolon. Calling up the function, F-U-N-C-T-I-O-N. Copy the word again, put it in here. Open bracket, event. You can copy this event, put it in here, close bracket. Here's the open curly bracket for this function. And way down here, we're going to have a closed curly bracket. Now, if open bracket, right, equals 1, close bracket. That's saying if up here somewhere, this recognized that the right arrow was pressed, down here it would be true, so we're going to do this stuff. Okay? So, right equals 1, it's testing. Is that a fact? And it would be if we press that right arrow. Close bracket. Here's the open curly bracket for this if, the closed curly bracket for this if. And here's all my movie clips. House underscore MC period X minus equals house LR, capital H, capital L, capital R, semicolon. That's this variable right here, house LR. I think the neighborhood behind Buddy here is packing her in. Okay, let's go back here. So we can copy this line, paste it in, change the word from house to fence, change this word from house to fence, paste it in again, change house to trees with an S, change house to trees with an S, paste it in again, change the word house to ball red, change the house to ball red. So you can see what we're going to do. If the right key is pushed, we're going to make the house move to the left, because that's what this says. The X is its location, period X is its location, and this says take away from it. Take away from it, take away from it. If I go up to here to this house right and left, this many pixels. So that'll cause the house to move to the left, as if we were physically moving right and looking, and the house is sort of like we're trying to look behind the house or behind the tree. There's a closed curly bracket for this if. Copy this, paste it in. This word right becomes left. These all stay the same except where you see these minus signs here. Make this a plus, make this a plus, make this a plus, and make this a plus. And again, we should have our closed curly bracket here is for this if, for this function. Open curly bracket, closed curly bracket, a closed and an open for this if sign, a closed and an open for this sign. Okay, let's give that a try. Hopefully no faults. Test movie test. It's a lot of code for no faults. So if I press the right, see that looks, if you look right here, it looks like we're going behind the house. Here it looks like we're going behind the tree, and the ball's peeking out. Now this is not really good. I mean, this is usable, and we can see looking behind the house, and eventually we'll see the ball come out from behind the tree. So it's better than nothing. Now we want to get these two layers on scene 1, not part of this movie clip. So click the sky layer, hold your control down, click the lawn layer, right click, cut them, cut, they're gone. Click here back to scene 1, and double click here and call this lawn capital MC, that's the movie clip. Right click on it, paste layers, And you can see what I just pasted. It's on top of the lawn movie clip. So click on this lawn movie clip and drag it to the top. Let's make this 50% for a minute. Unlock this lawn in the sky. I'm going to pick up my selection tool, highlight this, drag it roughly in position, open the properties panel, and I can't position and size right here. I want the height to be a little bit bigger than 400. That's my stage size. So I'm going to make it 410. And I'm going to make my width about 600. Unlock this chain here and I'm making mine about 600. That just gives me some room. No, I want it bigger than that. I want it bigger than that. Highlighting it again. Open it up. I'm going to make it 1,000. That should be good. And highlight it and drag it like that. That's approximately centered there, and pick it up to there, and I'm happy with that. Let's just try this once more. Control, test movie test. I can move it. I'm moving to the right, so I'm clicking the right arrow. I'm moving to the right. Now I'm clicking the little balls peeking out here. Now I'm moving to the left, and the ball's going to come out the other side. Like I say, this is not mathematically correct, but it might be something you can use. Hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I hope you use what you learn.